We will return after these messages.
The home has always been an oasis of tranquility in a hectic world.
It's tea time.
Yeah! But not with Nerf Indoor Golf. Nerf Golf lets you turn your home into a 9-hole course with some of the toughest holes you can imagine. And with Nerf Golf, it's tough to make a disastrous shot because the balls are soft and safe. Nerf Indoor Golf, the 9-hole golf game with clubs you put together. New from Parker Brothers.
Where are you going with those stripes?
That's Aquafresh for kids. Just follow me.
Toothpaste? I hate to brush.
Aquafresh for kids makes brushing fun. It's got a zingy taste kids love. Fluoride too, and it's easy to pump and has a neat top.
Great, but how are you going to get those stripes in there?
Watch. Aquafresh for kids. I make brushing fun.
Those baby Blinkins aren't sleeping yet.
Baby Blinkins. Batteries not included.
Hungry, baby Beamer? You are. Comb your hair, baby Glisten? Of course. Such pretty wings. Let's go to sleep, baby Shimmer. What? I love you too.
Baby Blinkins. They light up your life with each loving touch.
Good night.
Baby Shimmer, Glisten, Beamer, each sold separately, complete with bottle, bib, and blanket from LJN.
And now these messages.
Ronald McDonald in.
Hand warming, hot hand warming.
Rubble, 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 rubble.
On a cold, cold day, it feels so neat to clap your hands together and feel the beat. Hamburgers, French fries, hot for you. McDonald's hand warming
It's fun to do.
It's a good time for the great taste.
Doesn't mean a lot if you don't get it hooked.
Of McDonald's.
This is Budball. He can spin. Here comes Katie rolling in. And this is Stewie. Where's he been? The Nerfles. Each character sold separately.
So much fun to clown around, change and rearrange around. Yes, Nerfles are a ball to be around. Hey, Bud, what would you be if you had Stewie's ears? What? A bunny rabbit.
The Nerfles. You can collect them all. Little characters like Budball, Katie, and Stewie. Each sold separately from Parker Brothers.
Getting into drugs and being high is a stupid thing to do. Being original and take a stand. You're free to say no. Don't let a friend put you in. Taking drugs, you got a right to say no.
Something's happening to raisins. It's hitting apples, too. Even strawberries are disappearing. Inside biscuits of toasted whole wheat. Fruit-filled, fun-filled bites of wheat. It's new Fruit Wheat cereal. And it's just waiting for you to find the fruit hidden inside. For part of your nutritious breakfast, new Nabisco Fruit Wheat cereal. Real fruit in every bite.
We will return after these messages.
Happy holidays.
I'm not ready to go yet, okay? I'm not ready. You gotta wait. I got shit to do. I'm in the middle of something, all right? Just hold on.
Watch your mouth or don't come in here.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, people, come on, we're adults here. You know what? What is the point?
Yeah, we're adults here. I got a fucking Burger King fucking thing on my head. We're all fucking adults here, guys. People in my chat, 2 words. What are they? 2 words. Let me see the chat flood. Let me see the chat flood. 2 words. Okay. Next caller. Please. Let's get into the meat and potatoes, which translate in American to dick and balls.
I got flip-flops. These are my flip-flops. Yeah, I really like my flip-flops because I can put them on. Because look, watch me put them on. I can put them on all by myself. Watch me put them on. Look, are you watching? Look, these are my flip-flops.
Thanksgiving Day. I remember it clearly. It was Thanksgiving Day. I was inserting myself in somebody else's fucking business as a cash grab, and you know. This channel is harsh reality. Karen Yak se jodió la sucia vida. Amen.
This is Jonathan Lee Riches. I have cheeseburgers. I'm gonna put cheese on them. I'm gonna make sure that I have my hamburgers because I'm a big boy now and I can make the hamburgers. My mom lets me use the stove now.
And I'm just like, wow, I like receipts, and they brought receipts. Like they had evidence to back up everything they said. And I'm like, okay, well, there's got to be another side to this, right? Like this can't. No, this is too fantastic.
Yeah, because you're not going to just jump to the conclusion that there's a conspiracy amongst cops to cover up a murder. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, cops and just like soccer moms and shit. Like that's what made it even crazier. Like,
yeah, get it, Betty. Yeah,
did you have a close relationship with your mom?
Get it, Betty.
Oh, of course, I still do.
Yeah.
My older sister was kind of she was more of the prissy girl that likes going.
That is the best shit fucking
shopping for the dresses with mommy. I was the tomboy that liked playing with the feet.
Shout out to Cherry for just being easily the most faithful and loyal supporter that I've ever had. That someone could have that tenacity with loyalty. And I'm really blessed to have someone like Cherry be part of this channel and in my life. So it means a lot. And yes, I named him after Mr. T and Rocky. Say, woman. Say, woman. Say, woman. Since your old man ain't got no heart, why don't you come down to my apartment tonight and I'll show you a real man. Oh my God, I'm so in love with this little dude. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. I love you guys very, 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 very much. And we will do this again very soon, my friends. Oh, say bye. Say bye. Oh, I love you too. Give me a kiss. Oh, I love you. Bye, guys.
Oh my goodness, Clever done moved my stuff. What's going on, people? It's good to see you. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody's having a wonderful weekend so far. Oh man, I just came from here. I'm dropping the link in chat for those of you who don't know, but I think most of you came from over there. Dude. Oh, wait, thank you. Oh yeah, okay.
All right, let's try this again. Woo! Yeah, I just came from attorney Melanie Little's chat. Man, is that channel refreshing or what? Seriously. And honestly, you know, I would have been fine just continuing to stay over there and interact in her chat. But I had this live stream planned since this morning, so I had to kind of, you know, do this. So, but her channel is, I mean, she's an attorney. And I did not know this because this is going to be a reaction, folks. I have not watched this yet, but we are going to watch the thing from night before last, the CourtTV thing from night before last, as far as discussing the Karen Reed thing. And I know that there was one panelist on there that we love to talk about. So we're definitely going to get into that. And I saw some of you guys like, oh man, what a great idea. How about Claire and Melanie Little doing a live together? I would love to pick her brain. It would be fantastic. I always love the idea of having an attorney up here whose brain I could pick, especially when it comes to a case that I'm so passionate about. And it seems that she has become very passionate about this case as well. And honestly, that's what we need. And I know, I mean, but I'm down. It'd be great, but I wouldn't count on it. Let me explain a little something to you guys about me, okay? Let me explain like a little something about me and this channel, okay? This channel, Jesus, I don't know if that was the right choice, but okay. The whole thing about me is I have some really some good friends that I've made. And hold on, hold on real quick. Let me just knock this out of the way real quick, folks. My goodness, this has to be done.
I think we got a super dad. Super dad. I think we got a super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Super dad. Dad, 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 dad. I think we got a super dad. I think we got a super dad.
Thank you, Cuck Church. Street Squirrel. No, you're not going to be put on timeout. So I got put on timeout. I don't know if it was an accident or what, but I don't know. I don't care. It's not that serious. Like, it wasn't a long timeout. It was fine. Now, what I was going to say is she runs her channel she runs a bit of a tighter ship in her chat than I do, and that's perfectly fine. She does things differently, and a lot of creators do. Let me explain. You know, she stated that she watches the show, and she, you know, and she was very kind in highlighting some of my comments. But you got to understand something about me, folks. I have some friends that I've made over the years, whose channels have grown significantly, and we've remained friends. But you have to understand, and this is something that I'm perfectly okay with. I don't take this like I'm complaining or I'm somehow upset about it in any way. I am pretty self-aware, and I understand the risks that I take by not compromising certain things about myself. So I understand that my channel growth is going to is going to be more limited based on the fact that I don't censor myself here, and I don't mind calling out people and creators by name. These are big no-nos if you really want your channel to grow and grow fast. This is something that I am fully aware of, that I've always been aware of, but I just not given a fuck. But there are creators who understand this about me and respect this about me, but at the same time, they don't run their channel the same way. And so you got to understand that, like, publicly, me and some of these creators who I'm good friends with behind the scenes, and I don't know Melanie Little, I've never spoken to her, but I'm saying there are others. And what ends up happening is I mean, the fact is, this is just something that I'm perfectly okay with, and I understand this about myself. I'm a bad look. Okay. I'm a bad look. Okay. I got a lot of history, got a lot of so I totally get it. I totally get it. And again, and I cuss and I call people out, and some people consider that drama. I don't really get in back and forths with people too much. And so I try to keep those type of things off of this channel if I can. But I guess you could say, yes, I have dabbled in a little bit of drama, but those days are very much over for me. Now that doesn't mean that I'm not going to call out some shitty behavior that I see happen, but I'm there's parts of this community that I've just realized that when it comes to growth, they're not going to be conducive to that. So and I am wanting to grow, and not just with my channel, but as a person, and just be more positive and be more productive. That's what I'm trying to do going into 2024. I wouldn't call it a resolution. I really don't like cliches, but seems like a good taking off point. I kind of started doing this late last year, but this is where I'm at now. But yes, understand understand that just because I may have I agree with certain creators, and they may agree with me because of the direction that some people choose to take their channel, and it's probably not the best thing for them to publicly interact. And again, this is something that I understand about myself based on how I run my channel, and I'm perfectly self-aware, and I'm totally okay with that being one casualty, I guess, when it comes to this stuff. So now I did not realize, again, this is going to be a reaction, but I did not realize that Melanie Little, she mentioned that when she was live, that she was on this panel. And I did not know this because I haven't watched it yet. I saw one little clip that somebody posted on Twitter, and I reposted it. And so we're going to discuss some stuff here. We're going to go ahead and watch this. Okay. No, I don't want to sign up. Watch out. There we go. Oh, we need some sound, don't we?
State police trooper Michael Proctor, the state police trooper, being accused of planting evidence outside 34 Fairview Road, was never at Fairview Road on the day of the incident. Proctor and his state police partner traveled together the entire day while other officers were processing 34 Fairview. Trooper Proctor was not there and did not plant evidence at 34 Fairview Road. In addition to having no opportunity to plant the evidence, as has been suggested, Proctor would have no motive to do so. Trooper Proctor had no close personal relationship with any of the parties involved in the investigation and had no conflict.
Dude.
You're lying. And you're a piece of shit.
That's right, McGruber. Get him.
and he had no reason to step out of this investigation. Every suggestion to the contrary is a lie.
That's the Norfolk County DA, the one who's in charge of the prosecution of Karen.
Now, Vinny, I like you, buddy. I do. You've had some questionable panelists, but I like you, dude. But you definitely got a different look on your face here than any of the other times that I've seen you talk about this case.
Karen Reed, a public video that was released, very unusual. But again, this is a very unusual case in what's been happening. And there's been this groundswell up there in Canton and in the area. And there's been fingers pointed at people, including this Trooper Proctor. And you heard the DA say, listen.
Dude, can we talk about real quick how dope it is that this is being brought up on Court TV now? Like, I don't give a shit what side they take. I really don't. All I want is for this stuff to get mentioned and talked about so that people with common sense will look into the documents themselves and see the discrepancies for themselves. I don't want to convince anybody of anything. I don't want to steer anybody in any direction. All I want is for you to look at the documents yourself. Okay? Just look at the documents and use your common sense. That's all I want.
Listen, he didn't plant evidence. He wasn't even there, and he's not connected to anyone that was in the house or any of the parties involved here. Well, the defense is saying something completely different. But let's begin by taking a look at the Commonwealth's statement of the case. Okay, so this is from the prosecution side. They say in this, Trooper Michael Proctor and Sergeant Yuri Buchanek were among the troopers whom responded to the scene and began interviewing witnesses. So this.
All right, let me, no song. Okay. Has anyone told you that you remind them of Jax from Vanderpump Rules? You look related. I don't know who Vanderpump Rules is. I've never heard those words prior to this super chat, but I thank you for it. Chirp, chirp. Chirp, chirp. Chip, 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 chip. That shit reminds me of The Room. Chip, 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 chip. I did not hit her. It's bullshit. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
This trooper, very important part of the defense case, according to the Commonwealth statement of the case, was there. Then today in court, Alan Jackson went a little further to outline evidence that he believes shows that Trooper Proctor's and his family is connected to the parties involved here. Take a listen.
We've established that there is a close personal relationship between and among Michael Proctor and obviously Elizabeth Proctor and these third-party culprits that have been implicated in this case that we've brought to the court's attention, the Alberts and the McCabe's. So he calls the evidence that we've procured and that we've presented to the court as lies. Well, let's look at those lies for a quick second. We have presented the court with photographic evidence, not something that we came up with, something they came up with. Photographs in Exhibit C in our moving papers. And I'll just cover a couple of those. There's a photograph that we presented that shows Trooper Proctor's mother, with a person by the name of Colin Albert, pictured in the photograph, with Trooper Proctor's sister pictured in the photograph, with Chris Albert pictured in the photograph, and with Jennifer McCabe's own daughter depicted in the photograph. They're all together at a birthday party. These are close and immediate family members of the Proctor family, the Albert family, and the McCabe family, and they're all together and they're socializing. That's not a lie, it's a photograph. And it's unassailable evidence of that relationship. There's a second photograph of Trooper Proctor and Colin Albert in a wedding party together. And I would urge the court to note, they're not at a wedding together. They're in a wedding together, in the wedding party. There's a third photograph.
And when was that? When was that? When was that?
2012. So this relationship, as the court just noted, and I was about to get to in a second, is not just days old, months old, weeks old. This relationship is decades old between these families. There's another photograph that the court has seen, Trooper Proctor literally on the dance floor with Colin Albert. Trooper Proctor was seated at the same table having dinner with Colin Albert, Chris Albert, and Chris Albert's wife. But I would highlight the last point that I think should be highlighted for the court's attention, and that's the Facebook post. Trooper Proctor's mother refers to the Albert family as the Proctor's second family. So one might actually ask Mr. Morrissey, who's actually lying in this case?
Okay, so let's take a look at this visual, because he's throwing a lot of names out there and it's a little confusing. So I want to make it a little less confusing. So the
not if you've been reading the documents since the beginning of this case, or at least before you started talking about it, or at least went over the documents like I did live as I started talking about it.
Are that's the trooper, but what is his connection to the Alberts and the McCabe's, et cetera? But who are these people? So this is the house where John O'Keefe was found dead on the lawn, okay? The owners of the house are Brian Albert and Nicole Albert. They are married. Now, Brian Albert has a brother named Chris who's married to Julie. They have a son named Colin. So Colin is an important name in all of this. Chris, Julie, again, brother of Brian Albert. Brian Albert and Nicole, they have children, Caitlin Albert, Brian Albert.
Listen. We got to take a moment here, folks. We got to take a moment and drink this in, okay? We got to take a moment and drink this in, because how long have we been waiting to see this shit being talked about when talking about this case? I mean, how long have we been waiting for this? And I haven't even been covering it this long. Like, I haven't even been covering it that long. Like, I've been covering it a couple months, maybe. I mean, and I feel like this is a milestone.
Albert Jr., and then there's a friend of theirs, Julie Nagel. Then you look at Nicole Albert, her sister, another important name in all of this, Jennifer McCabe. Jennifer McCabe, who's married to Matt McCabe. So this is the house. So
thank you for the Venmo, Brittany. Appreciate it.
So the night that John O'Keefe got out of the car in front of the house and either went to the party or was murdered or run over by Karen Reed, who was in the house? Take a look. This is what's alleged here. Brian Albert's there. Nicole is there. Chris and Julie are not there, but their son, Colin, is there, which is Brian's nephew. Their kids are there. Brian Albert Jr., Caitlin, and their friend Julie. Also there, very significant, is Jennifer McCabe and Matt McCabe. All of this, trying to understand the names, the relationships, and does it all lead to some conspiracy, bias, framing, planning evidence? Let's bring in our guests. Joining us in New York City, attorney, podcaster.
My man said, let's bring in our guest. Oh, shit. Hold on.
Melanie Little is with us in Boston, Massachusetts, criminal defense attorney and author of the books Super Predators and Law and the Tough on Crime Myth. Peter Ellikin is with us. And down in beautiful Jacksonville, Florida, retired FBI Special Agent Jennifer Koffendorfer. Great to have everyone here. All right, Melanie, I'll begin with you. So
Bro, I just can't with Koffendorfer, dude. I can't. Like, not anymore. She said too many words, bro. Like, let me explain to you about Koffendorfer and my dynamic with her. Like, I can't see her and take her seriously. I'm not even taking any jabs. I mean, I might, but I'm not even taking any jabs at her personal appearance. All I'm saying is I can't even see her face now without laughing because of her words. Because I've heard too many of her words, bro. Like, there's no other way to explain that. Oh, that's the wrong. Hold on. That's some other case. All right, hold on. I got to get it back to the right.
The New York City attorney, podcaster Melanie Little is with us. In Boston, Massachusetts, criminal defense attorney and author of the books Super Predators and Law and the Tough on Crime Myth, Peter Ellikin is with us. And down in beautiful Jacksonville, Florida, retired FBI Special Agent Jennifer Koffendorfer. Great to have everyone here. All right, Melanie, I'll begin with you. So is the defense really predicated on the fact that Trooper Proctor, who was at a wedding and his family is close with the Alberts, is literally planting evidence to literally frame Karen Reed for murder? Is that what the defense is saying here, Melanie?
I think that's exactly what they're saying, and they're also saying that there are a lot of questions of fact here. You know, if Trooper Proctor, who was the lead investigator,
I hate to interrupt you. I just want to preface our entire conversation tonight. I'm not concerned about reasonable doubt. Okay, reasonable doubt. I want to know about the truth tonight, because the defense is saying John O'Keefe was murdered by people in that house, and the prosecution is saying he was murdered by Karen Reed. So I want to look at these as two cases and evaluate what's going on here. Let's begin with the defense case. So Melanie, go ahead. I'm sorry I interrupted you. But I understand this is a case that's going to be tough with reasonable doubt. But I want to get to the truth tonight. So
I mean, Vinny's pissed, dude. Listen, for months, Vinny has been sitting up there listening to people who call themselves experts not make jack shit of sense, knowing that they were talking as though they were experts on this case, but seem to miss all of this shit. Because the fact is this isn't the only case that Vinny talks about. This isn't the only case that CourtTV talks about. They're talking about every case that everyone is talking about. This isn't the only one. So Vinny is understandably not doing these deep dives. He never claimed to do any deep dives, but he has experts on the panel that he would count on to have done deep dives if they're going to be so, opinionated on this case. And I'm not speaking for Vinny. I don't know. But if you guys are seeing that he's kind of annoyed, if I were him, I would be annoyed. I'm not saying that's the case. Maybe he's just fired up because it's, a hell of a thing to talk about. But I'm saying if it were me, I'd be fired up based on the fact that I've had these people on my panel who claim to be experts in this case, and they seem to just miss all of this shit. And so if I were Vinny, I'd feel took. I'd be like, I'm sitting here investing, you guys being experts in this shit, and you haven't, you failed to mention some of these very key important things that you failed to even put up the argument that the people who have been following this case and that are swearing by Karen Reed's innocence, that they have some facts to back it up. And this just went right past my desk as I'm covering this case. We've been sitting here spinning the narrative that all of these people are conspiracy theorists who think that there's something really fucking shady going on in Canton and in Norfolk County, right? So if I'm somebody who isn't privy to a lot of this information and I bring on people who I count on to be privy to this information, well, I'm going to be annoyed at this point.
What do you see in terms of these relationships? Is that enough? Like someone would do this? Frame this woman?
Well, I can't see why anybody would find it so beyond the pale that it could never actually happen. I mean, if it is true that Michael Proctor, who's the lead investigator on this case, has close ties to the Albert family and to the McCabe family, everyone inside that house was a relative except for one person. So if the defense can show that there are close second family.
Like, you could sit here and you could try to sprinkle all the rainbow sprinkles on this turd that you want. But you cannot deny the simple fact that all of these people were related. You could sit here and make all these arguments of how far removed they are and blah, 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 because only an idiot's going to fucking do that. And the prosecution, with their word salad, they're going to do the same thing. But the fact of the matter is almost everybody in that house is related. There's absolutely a logical reason to believe that these people would conspire to keep their mouths shut, to protect someone. They all have reason to do it. So it's not insane to sit here and go, oh my God, conspiracy theory, JFK, flat earth. No, that has nothing to do with anything. It's just common sense. I mean, we're not talking about that kind of conspiracy. We're talking about the word conspiracy in its truest sense, which is a bunch of people talking about and commiserating to do something that is immoral or wrong. I mean, that's just all it is. It's all it is. And we can sit here, dress it up all we want. But at the end of the day, that's all it is. These people all were practically, they were family. Plenty of reason for these people to conspire to protect each other.
Family type ties between everyone in that house and the lead investigator on this case. That could be something that definitely could lead to reasonable doubt. I know you don't want to go there, but that's exactly what
again, I'm not concerned about the reasonable doubt tonight. Not tonight. When we get to the trial, I'll get to it. I'm trying to figure out the truth here, Peter, because I've got Alan Jackson, a former prosecutor who was amazing out in California, jumping up and down literally on the courtroom steps, telling us that the prosecution has it all wrong. The DA has this all wrong, and that it's the police who are responsible here.
Well, yeah, first of all, I'd say definitely could lead to reasonable.
Alan Jackson, I'm not concerned about the reasonable doubt tonight. Not tonight. When we get to the trial, I'll get to it. I'm trying to figure out the truth here, Peter, because I've got Alan Jackson, a former prosecutor who was amazing out in California, jumping up and down literally on the courtroom steps, telling us that the prosecution has it all wrong. The DA has this all wrong, and that it's the police who are responsible here.
Dude, Vinny looks pissed that he had every reason to believe that these attorneys, Karen Reed's attorneys, Yannetti and Jackson, were not just spouting madness on the court steps months ago, saying the prosecution knows what the fuck's going on. This is beyond reasonable doubt. This isn't about reasonable doubt, because one would wonder, anybody who follows court cases understands one simple rule about the law. It is the prosecution's burden to prove beyond a reasonable doubt the defendant's guilt. There's no other way around that. Okay? A defense attorney's job is simply to create doubt, and they only have to do it good enough in one juror. One juror. That's it. They only have to make one juror go, gee, I don't know. That's it. And yet here they are going above and beyond. That is an understatement to say the least as to what they're doing, what the defense is doing here. They're going, no, we want justice for John O'Keefe too. We're not here just to get our client off. We want to bring the people who we think are responsible to justice. That's not something that you normally expect from a defense team, especially a defense team as seasoned as Yannetti and Jackson. So it's you could tell. I mean, if I'm Vinny right now, I'm fired up over that, going, wait a minute, man, I follow a million of these cases. Never seen this shit. I've always wondered why. And here now you're telling me that they absolutely have reason to feel this way and to go this far.
Well, yeah, first of all, I'd say that there was such a conflict of interest here. Even the appearance of bias, I don't know why Trooper Proctor was in charge of this investigation. There's just
too many times we saw that we just.
All the
they just
defense
went
is
over.
saying he's in charge because he's framing Karen Reed.
Right. A lot of us are saying that. A lot of us are saying that. I'm totally saying that. Now, why he's doing it, I don't know. But he's the one in charge, and she's being railroaded. There's no doubt in my mind about this. This dude, Proctor, is in charge of this investigation, and she's being railroaded. Therefore, I'm going to say Proctor is fucking railroading Karen Reed. I mean, how can you deny this? And now you've got these experts saying this on Court TV. Big change of tune there. I mean, let's think about that. Because I think Coffindoffer right now is shitting a Miata. Absolutely 100%.
That's why. He's not going to give up the lead on this because he's got to save, his friend and his friend's son and whoever else they're going to allege did this and frame somebody for this.
Yeah, and I guess that's. I think we've all been seeing enough cases over the years that it's not absolutely beyond the pale that some police officer may not be truthful. So
wait, there's a
that's. We got to be honest here. It's not absolutely beyond the pale that some police officers might be dishonest. I mean, dude, that's what we've been saying. Like before, we were all crazy people, weren't we? Court TV, right? I mean, I hate to be petty here, but I mean, I've earned it, okay? I've earned it. The people in this chat have earned it. Dude, like, let's just keep this real. You made us all sound like insane conspiracy theorists, and all we did was look at documents that you didn't look at. That's all we did. We looked at court documents and witness statements. And all we did was urge everyone else to do the same thing. That is all we did. I'm going to say that one more time. We looked at witness statements and court documents, and all we did was urge everyone else to do the exact same thing.
Difference, though. This is a difference between not being truthful, forgetting something, and literally taking evidence and putting it somewhere so you can frame someone for murder, take away their liberty, and put them in jail for the rest of their life. This is different
Would you
than
do
just
that
making
to
a
protect
mistake.
a friend? Do that to protect a friend, though, or your long-term friends with the family? We saw it goes way, way
They'd be
back.
so
and his
heated,
mother
dude.
is
It's so
saying
funny.
that the Alberts are a second family to her, and we have one of the family members, Jennifer McCabe, going to his house. Who goes to a state trooper's house, personal home to go chat
What's
with
up,
them, and
Turtle
it's not
Boy
even
Live?
reported in any paperwork. So
now I know that's not Aiden, but welcome. You are here in spirit, and I'm grateful.
So with those kinds of biased ties, wouldn't there be a motive? Could anybody do that to protect their friends, to protect people you've known for years?
That is 150% accurate as far as my opinion goes. That's exactly how I feel about this, John Fairbairn. And thank you, John Fairbairn. They want the case to fail so they can blame 0 people. Actually, it's really funny. When Turtle Boy was on this channel and we discussed that, that's exactly what Turtle Boy said. Because I was still very fresh to this case and I was going, I'm at a loss. I don't understand. They're not even trying. That, like, it looks like they're not even trying to show that they conducted a faulty investigation. It looks like they're just all over the place and not even trying to hide it. You know, like, and I don't understand that. It's too weird to me. And Turtle Boy's response was the same thing as this super chat right here. Turtle Boy's response was, well, they don't want it to. What'll happen is, and it's just like we've been saying, if they drop the charges against Karen Reed, okay, then what happens is the direction of the investigation has to go somewhere else. The entire public is fired up about this. What this is all about. Well, welcome anyway, Turtle Boy Live admin. What this is all about is to misdirect who's responsible for John O'Keefe's death. But they're saying, okay, I'm sorry. My thought was actually everyone is saying that this is about John O'Keefe and this is about justice for John O'Keefe. There are some people who say it and don't really mean it because it's a convenient thing to say to misdirect. But there are others, such as myself, people in this chat. We want justice for John O'Keefe. So what happens inevitably is once Karen Reed is exonerated, that has to go somewhere else. But in their minds, for some reason, their logic is, well, there's nobody to investigate once we, Karen Reed's not going to go to prison over this. We don't have a case against her. But we can shift the investigation on her, go through a trial, blah, 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 blah. And then this gives the people responsible plenty of chance to get rid of any evidence. Basically, there's no case. Because here's the thing, folks. I don't think that there's going to be any case where someone is actually going to be tried and found guilty of John O'Keefe's untimely death. I don't believe that at all. And it pains me to say that, but I don't believe that for 1 second. And the reason why I don't believe that is because all the evidence is gone. Somebody would have to fold on someone else. That's the only way. Somebody would have to grass somebody else out. Somebody in that family. Somebody in that very tight-knit group of people. And I don't think they're going to do that. Now, who knows? Maybe they slipped and there's some sort of piece of evidence, hopefully. But the thing is it just boils down to whatever happened to John O'Keefe. I am strongly of the opinion that whatever happened to John O'Keefe happened inside that home. And whoever was inside that house either was responsible for it or knows exactly what happened. And I believe that wholeheartedly. And inevitably, if the charges from Karen Reed are dropped, hey, buddy, if the charges from Karen Reed are dropped, yes, I'm proud of you for eating all your food, buddy. Yes, I am. If the charges against Karen Reed are dropped, the investigation is going to be shifted over to who is in that house. What are you going to do? Investigate the house now? Are you going to run it for forensics? Are you going to test it? You're not going to do that. There's nothing there. The dog's gone. There's nothing there. There's nothing they can do. Clubber, please go lie down. I know. I love you, buddy. I do. And you've been so good. But you got to go lie down right now. Clubber. Okay. Buddy, I can't do the show with you wanting to play right now, buddy. And I can't play with you right now. I love you, but I can't. Okay? There you go. Go find a toy. All right. Sorry about that, guys. So yeah, the investigation is going to inevitably go towards whoever was in that house, and there's no physical evidence anymore. All of this has given whoever's responsible and whoever's covering this up plenty of time to make sure there's no evidence. So I don't believe that John O'Keefe will get justice. Unfortunately, I hope to God he does, but I don't believe that he will. But at the very least, I think we could count on Karen Reed, at least being exonerated from this and she can go on with her life. But I mean, this is just disgusting.
For years, and that's why when the DA here has said that it's a lie if you see any connection between him and the family, the facts just don't bear that out.
Yeah, that was baffling. And I'm glad you mentioned that. Let's take a listen to Alan Jackson today talking about that meeting on September 25th of last year.
On September 25th, 2023, that one of those family members, Jennifer McCabe, was the subject of great interest in this case and a primary person of interest in this case, is invited to Trooper Proctor's personal home for some sort of off-the-books meeting. They've now admitted that Jennifer McCabe, a central character in the middle of this investigation, in the middle of this crime, was secretly meeting and or socializing with the lead investigator and or his wife in the living room.
Now, for those of you who don't know, and I can't imagine that you wouldn't know this by now, but the evidence that they're presenting right now is brought to you by, exclusively brought to you by exactly what Turtle Boy is in jail for right now. So Turtle Boy is in jail right now for uncovering the exact evidence that Karen Reed's defense team is presenting that would help exonerate her. Now, what does that tell you? What does that say about the motive behind putting Turtle Boy in jail? Because it tells me a lot. I mean, that's the thing about this channel is I don't give a fuck. I just don't care. Like, the fact is this is what it is, and I'm going to call you crazy to your face if you don't think that that's what this is. Because we've been following this since it happened, and we've been saying this is the case, and now we're seeing it become fact. Because Karen Reed's defense team is exactly using that evidence that Turtle Boy is currently in jail for. That's just part of what he's in jail for. Thank you, No Strays. Okay, sorry, I didn't read that out loud because I was muted. But you all read it. I agree with you, No Strays. Yeah, I think that they'll offer her a plea deal, but her defense team is too adamant right now. And I think Karen Reed actually wants justice for John O'Keefe, and I don't think that that's going to send the kind of message that she would want to get in order to get justice for her boyfriend, John O'Keefe. I don't think that that's the kind of message that she's going to want to send, is to plead guilty. Now, it's her life. She's entitled to do whatever she wants to do, and whatever's the best option for her, I guess, that's fine. But the fact is I just don't see that being the case. That's not something that I would count on.
Of their home. And that, Your Honor, is a problem.
Okay, Jennifer, let me ask you, should we be concerned, when I say we, the public, that the DA comes out and says there's no relationship with the family here? Proctor had nothing to do with what was going on that day, and it seems that that's not necessarily true. And then McCabe going to Proctor's house, I mean, should there be some concern here?
I think it's very important to truly understand the relationship. Brian Albert, who lived in the house where this incident occurred out in the front, his brother's wife's sister was friends with Proctor's sister. Okay, that's how far removed. I just hope your audience, the
One more time. We'll do it together.
brother's wife's sister was friends with Proctor's sister. Okay? That's how far removed. In other words, I could tell you, I have no idea who my sister-in-law's sister's friends are. I mean, there's no way. I couldn't tell you one of them. I don't even know my sister-in-law's friends. And we're very close. So my point is, this is how far removed it is. And then it's, again, Proctor's sister. Trooper Proctor and Brian Albert, the home again. They had never even met each other. The pictures you're showing are his brother's family. His brother's family. And again, that's through this, removed relationship. So I think it's very important to understand that just because you have a Proctor there and an Albert there, they're not the same family unit. Second of all, everybody's forgetting about Brian Higgins. That chart, you're missing the ATF agent that was there. And that's very important too. So to have this conspiracy work, you have to have a Boston police officer, Canton Police, EMS, an ATF agent, the medical examiner's office, the district attorney, and the state police all combined to do this huge conspiracy against who? Nothing against Karen Reed, but who is Karen Reed? Karen Reed is.
Look at Melody Little's face, bro. Look at Clever. Chill out. Look at Melody Little's face, bro. Dude, don't drink my coffee, dude. You're killing me right now, bro.
Police all combined to do this huge conspiracy against who? Nothing against Karen Reed, but who is Karen Reed? Karen Reed is no one special other than she was dating in a relationship that was falling apart. The victim deceased.
Okay. That's why she's the patsy, you dummy. That's exactly why she's the patsy. All of the statements. Everybody's like, oh, we don't really know Karen. We kind of knew John, but, nobody really knew Karen. I don't know Karen. That's what they all kept saying. So, right. Like, yeah, you think all this family is going to be like, yeah, let's pin it on him. No, pin it on him. No, pin it on the girlfriend who nobody here gives a shit about.
Everyone stay where you are. We've got to hit a quick break. When we come back, much, much more. Don't go anywhere.
Coming soon to Court TV.
These murders have shaken our community.
Why did you do it?
The doomsday prophet, Chad Daybell.
Prosecutors say they will seek the death penalty against him.
A social media sensation, now a suspected killer.
Karen Reed, she's accused of murder.
She said, let me see if I can so what do y'all think of, real quick, just off the subject for a second, what do y'all think of Gypsy Rose Blanchard right now? Who's following that shit right now? Oh, wait, here we go. We're back.
All right, folks, there's the scene. Like I said, you don't see this. You just don't see this. So Matt Johnson, as we saw, has been up there this week. So he went to the neighborhood and is going to walk you through the story again. It's a very complicated story. And again, there's actually two stories we're talking about at the same time. What the prosecution says happened, what the defense says happened. Take a look.
We're here in Canton, Massachusetts. This is just outside of Boston. And on January 28, 2022, Karen Reed and John O'Keefe went out drinking. They went drinking here at the Waterfall Bar and Grill. Later that night, they decided to meet up with a couple of friends that were at a bar down the street. It's about a block away now, and they make their way over here to C.F. McCarthy's Bar and Grill, and they meet up with Jennifer and Matthew McCabe. Around midnight, the bars begin to close. So everybody is invited back to Jennifer's sister's house, which, according to GPS, is about an 8-minute drive. Let's go check it out.
Let's go check it out.
They eventually make their way here.
Now, are you getting the vibe, people? Because now Court TV is in it. Okay? Before, this was just another case. You know what I mean? It was a high-profile case. They talk about it here and there. But now, like, they're in it. They know that this is going to be the trial. We've been saying this. This is going to be the trial that everyone's going to be paying attention to. And make no mistake, people, that the reason why everyone's going to be looking at this trial is because of you. Because of you, especially the locals in Norfolk County. Because of you. Because you guys have not stopped making noise. Because of Turtle Boy, because of you guys, and it's amazing. Because now the whole country is going to be paying attention to this. Because think about it. Listen. The words that are coming out of everyone's mouth on Court TV wouldn't have nearly the impact that they do if there wasn't the visual of all of you standing outside of these out of that courthouse on those court steps, expressing yourselves. That's what's getting the attention. Make no mistake about that. That's what's getting the attention. That's what's getting Court TV's attention. So you guys, like, really drink that in, man. Thank you, Nicholas Starolf's Trial Watch. They are following in the steps of Turtle Boy, and there is nothing the prosecution can do about it, right? I mean, this was inevitable, and throwing him in jail was the stupidest thing that they could have done. So, I mean, here it goes. Like, this is it, folks. Just wait till the next hearing. This is it, folks. Like, now the country is paying attention.
Fairview Road in Canton, and this house. This house was owned by Brian and Nicole Albert. At the time, Brian was a good friend of theirs and also a police officer. Now, what happens next is what this case is all about. Prosecutors say that the couple actually got into a fight, and when O'Keefe exited the car, Karen Reed backed over him, leaving him to die in the curb here in front of this house during the snowstorm. Police collected a lot of evidence at the scene, including what appeared to be...
I gotta say, dude, this dude's sound is fantastic, bro. Like, because I got my headphones on. You know, these are like Beats. And like, this dude being outside, I can't help but point that out. Him being outside, he sounds amazing.
To be a broken cocktail glass with blood around it, and also a broken taillight. Now, Reed says when she pulled up to the house here, she wanted to know if the couple was really invited. It was late at night. So she watched John O'Keefe walk up to the front door over there. And when he didn't return to the car and didn't return her phone call, that's when she said she went to his house and fell asleep. The next morning, Karen Reed hasn't heard from John. So she starts making phone calls. And then she comes back here to the last place she says that she saw him, over at this house on Fairview. And that's when he's discovered, lying in the snow dead.
Oh boy.
Now, Reed's defense says a very different story. They say that John was actually beaten up in the basement of this house and attacked by the family dog. They claim that he was dragged outside and left in the snow to die.
I mean, that's just one theory. That's a little specific, but...
Now, being here on Fairview Road in Canton, a few things come to mind. Why didn't someone see anything? Because the neighborhood, it's fairly dense. The houses are close together.
Delete laws. Thank you so much. We can raise the rest of that 30K. How about Thursday morning? We do all day fundraiser and finish that 30K fund for the Canton 9. Yes, the link for that is in the description to donate to the Canton 9, and I absolutely encourage everyone to do that. And Cherry, I think, has been dropping the link as well. So let me read that one more time. We could raise the rest of that 30K. How about Thursday morning? We do all day fundraiser and finish that 30K fund for the Canton 9, who will come on Thursday. I don't want to fail. Let's truly help them. Sure. Yeah, I'll be in on that. Why not? Yeah, absolutely. If you can contact me on Twitter and let me know the details of how you want to do that, I'm in. And and thank you. Delete laws. I love the handle. Oh, so MAGA Chick, what is the Canton 9? Please explain. So, okay, so I imagine some of you guys are here from Melanie Little's channel. So the Canton 9 are 9 people who were arrested under the same charges that Turtle Boy was arrested. And they did a lot less than Turtle Boy did. Even their arrest, even in my opinion, also amongst many other things, serves the purpose of showing how Turtle Boy's arrest was absolutely unlawful, because their arrest was even more unlawful. I mean, technically the same, but Team Brittany, thank you. I'm just coming in for this because not feeling well, but with God as my witness, was not the one who timed you out for 20K in a solo cup at a location of Chloe. I'll tell you who did. I love you. Thanks, Team Brittany. No, I mean, I didn't take it personally. Like I said, people run their channels how they run their channels, man. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what I said, but I mean, it wasn't that serious. I wasn't timed out for that long. And you guys are thinking about it more than I am. But yeah, it was okay.
But you have to keep in mind that this happened in January, in the middle of the night, and it was also a snowstorm, whiteout conditions. Now, another key for the defense is the snowplow driver who said that he cleared Fairview Road here the morning that John O'Keefe was found dead. He claims that he didn't see a body in the road or near the road.
Okay, all my guests back with us, Melanie Little, Peter Ellikin, and Jennifer Koffendorfer. Melanie, which case is easier to prove? That he was murdered in the house or that he was murdered by Karen Reed?
I have so many questions. I think it's easier to prove that he was murdered in the house.
Tell me why.
In my opinion. I mean, where's the dog? Where's the dog? I saw the photos of John Proctor's right arm that were taken at his autopsy. They have what clearly looks to be like animal scratches on them. All of a sudden, the family dog of 7 years, they had a German Shepherd in the house. The family dog is gone. They rehomed the dog. The dog is missing. The dog's DNA cannot be tested to see if those were in fact animal scratches. You know, there's a cocktail glass allegedly on the lawn. They never searched the inside of the house. Why did they never go inside the house to see if they had those type of glasses inside the house?
Facts.
Why was the basement flooring ripped up? The house was sold. Why did this police officer who owned the house and his wife never come out of their house to look at the scene when there is a dead police officer on their lawn? I have so many questions. And I think at the end of the day, the jury is going to have to decide the facts. And if we have so many questions from looking at these facts, I think a jury is going to have a lot of questions too.
Jennifer,
listen, bro, I found Melanie's secret identity, y'all. I found it.
And his name is John C.
Oh my goodness. Oh wait, here we go.
Which case is easier to prove?
Oh, without a doubt, the case that he was hit by Karen Reed. She had the motive. These are not dog scratches. That has been said by 2 medical examiners, separate medical examiners that examined him. Also, there were samples sent to a lab in California to test for non-human or canine DNA. Negative. So I find it so interesting that people want to look at a picture and all of a sudden they're medical examiners, they're doctors with PhDs, and they can say these are dog scratches. Second to the point there, the Brian Albert, they sold their house months and months after that. Also, they had a leak downstairs in the basement that resulted in
Doesn't a house usually take months to sell? I mean, I'm not a real estate agent or anything. I've never actually sold a house. But I mean, don't they usually take months to sell anyway?
quite a lot of damage, and that's why the flooring was replaced. As far as the dog, Chloe got into a fight with another dog in that neighborhood. And during that fight, one of the neighbors went to separate the two dogs and was scratched or bitten. And it was decided amongst the people that they would go ahead and rehome the dog as opposed to making an even larger deal out of it. So there are very logical explanations, but these are the types of innuendos that have been completely blown up.
See, one has to wonder, where is any of this? Where is she getting that information from? Is anybody asking her this? Coffindoffer, I'm asking you, where did you get this information from? If you're not a mouthpiece for the prosecution, where are you getting that information from? How would you know that? Because either you're completely full of shit, which I think you are, because I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to say you're well, shit, because this prosecution seems to be pretty stupid. So I'm not going to say that they're not stupid enough to. Okay. Thank you, Deanna Facio. Thank you so much. But I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and say that you're just full of shit. Because I don't think that you, yeah. I mean, but then we saw that email, right? You know, we did see that email. So, I mean, logic and common sense would dictate that you are a mouthpiece for the Norfolk DA and you're not even good at it. But the Norfolk DA is not even good enough at being a mouthpiece for themselves. They're caught. I mean, we're talking about Michael Morrissey, who is caught lying. The segment that you're on right now, the very one that you're on right now, Jennifer, right? The very one started with Michael Morrissey lying. And then Alan Jackson pointed this out.
Oh, no.
So, okay, so there's that. Oh, yeah, here, let's watch that.
Being accused of planting evidence outside 34 Fairview Road was never at Fairview Road on the day of the incident. Proctor and his state police partner traveled together the entire day while other officers were processing 34 Fairview. Trooper Proctor was not there and did not plant evidence at 34 Fairview Road. In addition to having no opportunity to plant the evidence, as has been suggested,
no opportunity.
Proctor would have no motive to do so. Trooper Proctor had no close personal relationship with any of the parties involved in the investigation and had no conflict. And he had no reason to step out of this investigation. Every suggestion to the contrary is a lie.
That's the Norfolk County DA, the one who's in charge of the prosecution of Karen Reed.
I mean, homie, like, stop it. Like, Coffindoffer needs to just stop it. Like, I understand, like, this guy's under federal investigation. Coffindoffer, you still, like, if you ever still had chance to save face, like, I mean, any further than this, if you go any further with your narrative, you're gonna look. I mean, you're never gonna recover from it. You're never gonna recover from it. I mean, let's just face it, Jennifer Coffindoffer, you are clearly not aware of anything that you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. Just there's no shame in saying that. I went into this case going, I don't know what the fuck is going on with this case. I have no idea. And I explored it live with my audience. They appreciated the honesty. You know? Like, it's okay to just be like, you know what? I haven't read a fucking thing. I haven't read a fucking thing except for tweets that fit my narrative. I block those that don't. I highlight the ones that do. You know, that's it. I'm only concerned about my image. And I love having spots on Court TV and News Nation. I mean, that's all you got to do. It's not even that difficult. Like it's there's no, I mean, there's a little bit of shame in it. Clever, really, bro? Really, bro? There's no shame in it. I mean, well, there's a little bit of shame in it. There's a little bit of shame in like having to admit that you were talking out of your ass this entire time. And I'm talking about the daily tweets and not just the News Nation and Court TV appearances, but the daily tweets. It's really, it's just very funny to me. Give me 1 second here, folks. You can totally hear Clever like tearing up something. Okay, so no. So I just wanted to go over that. I don't see how at this point anybody, and that's just scratching the surface. Like, imagine as this goes on, right? How that's going to be. Imagine as this goes on, because that's just scratching the surface. That's a drop in the bucket, as I like to say, as to the shady shit that's going on with this investigation, right? So, I mean, considering everything that's in these documents, because now, hopefully, if anything, and I beg you, anybody who has paneled on Court TV, and if you're going to do so in the future, I'm talking about everybody. I don't want to like throw out names, but they know who they are. And some of them are channels that I absolutely respect, but just read, you know, it's not that difficult to read a court document. I mean, if I can read certain court documents and at least understand that there's discrepancies, I mean, people who are experts surely can do this, you know? All we want, those of us who believe that Karen Read is innocent, 99% of us simply just want people to read and recognize the discrepancies. That's it. Like, if you read these court documents and you actually came up with something that made sense, not like the stuff that Coffindoffer's saying, because she just like, I mean, that was in Elaine from Seinfeld dance of words. That's what she was doing that entire time. She didn't make any sense at all. She made absolutely zero sense as to what the argument was. She contributed nothing productively to what was being talked about. I mean, she just did the little kicks, you know, and like everybody was just sitting there going, what? And that's so sad, man, because, you know, because you got like Bill Cannon, man, that shit broke my heart. I'm not even trying to lie. Like, I've always liked that guy. I've always liked his channel. And then he gets her on, and then I fucking talked him up. I was like, this is a level-headed guy. This is a guy who worked homicide in New York for years and years and years. And then he brings Coffindoffer on, and he's just totally up her ass. And it was gross. And like, and it was after this guy who is a, you know, detective sergeant, the New York City Police Department, most elite units. I mean, for this guy to say he's going to do a deep dive and then go live talking about it, I got stoked. I got excited. I was like, fuck yeah. and then he brings Coffindoffer on and just basically just follows every single little thing that she says. And then when he's called out on it by his chat, he insults everyone as if having an honest job is somehow insulting. Because, I mean, Bill, I got to tell you, dude, you realize when you sat there and you made this comment about the Piggly Wiggly, you know, when you did this, you were insulting your own audience. How do you know what your audience does for a living? I don't think smart people can work at the Piggly Wiggly. I don't think smart people can work at the Winn-Dixie or the Publix or the Food City or, I mean, Walmart. These honest jobs, man. Honest jobs, you know? So it's just like, for you to just insult everyone like that after they just simply called you out respectfully for, dude, did you read? It's an honest question. Did you read anything about this case? Delete laws when I worked at Piggly Wiggly when I was 17. Piggly Wiggly is a grocery store, I guess, in parts of the northeastern side of the United States. Scott McGinnis, thank you. I forgot when or what live it was when you had the epiphany. I was waiting for you to finally see. I was so excited. Glare gets it now. Let's go. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure which one that was. But if I had to guess, I'd say it was after reading the statements, like after reading Nicole Albert supposedly sleeping through everything, it just didn't make sense to me that nobody actually did a walkthrough of that home. And when I say a walkthrough, I understand that supposedly one of the responding officers went inside the home. I get that. What I'm saying, though, is why not actually, you know, go and wake people up? Because if you're doing a wellness check, if there's a dead police officer on someone's lawn, I'm waking people up. If I'm a responding officer, I'm walking into the house and I'm going, and I'm not a cop, so I don't know what the protocol is, but I would say that would get a pass. I don't think that you would get in trouble or reprimanded as a police officer for going and making sure that someone laying there without moving is actually breathing and actually asleep, by actually seeing if they are actually responsive, by waking them up and going, hey, listen, I don't want you to panic, but there's a deceased person on your lawn, or there's somebody who is in critical condition on your lawn, and I need to make sure that everybody's okay. Have you been hurt? Did you see anything? Nothing of this nature took place. Clever, please play with one of your toys. So none of this took place, apparently. And nobody seems to find this suspicious, who are just jumping to the conclusion that Karen Reed is guilty. They're looking at a fraction of the picture. I mean, this picture isn't even all that. It's probably not even a really like good analogy, but imagine that this case is one of those 3D pictures that you have to actually kind of like not focus on, try to focus, but not really focus on. And you stare at it long enough and then the picture appears. Kind of like that. You got to get everything in the perspective and see everything, or else, you know, you're not looking at it for what it is. You're just not looking at it for what it is. I mean, there's too many things that should have any reasonable thinker asking questions, asking a lot of questions, asking very, very interesting and difficult questions. There's too much. And it was refreshing to see Melanie Little on that panel, because so far that was the first time besides Turtle Boy, and Turtle Boy already had a bias against him. But to have attorney Melanie Little up there saying this, I mean, these are the questions I have. These are absolutely the questions I have. Everybody should be asking these questions. So, I mean, like, some might criticize, because I realized people were making jokes like, okay, well, no, you can't cuss in her chat. You can't do this. You can't do that. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. I mean, again, some people run a tighter ship than others on YouTube. It is what it is. But you know what? I'm glad somebody like that. You know, I mean, it's worth it to me to to do like this and walk in a straight line in that chat, move to my left, you know, so that somebody doesn't scream out, "No soup for you." It's worth it to me to do that. If there's going to be someone who is actually encouraging and actually reputable and actually credible, saying, "I'm only looking at the facts," to me, that is priceless. So yeah, it's totally worth it to me to be in her chat and follow all of her rules that you're not used to here. Totally, easily worth it. Because this case absolutely needs credible creators, like who are licensed attorneys, for instance, saying, "I'm only sticking to the facts," and has a seat on a platform like CourtTV, saying, "I'm only interested in the facts." That's important. Because again, that's all we're asking, really. On this channel, we're a little more colorful about it. So's Turtle Boy. But, you know, I mean, the credibility of the case and the public interest, for the sake of that, having someone like Melanie Little talking about the case and straight up saying, "This is what I'm looking at and nothing else. And that's what we do here. And if you don't like it, hit the bricks." There's easy choice for me. I don't think this is going to be a very long live stream, guys. I have the best boomer. No, you guys are fantastic, man. Seriously, like, I'm really enjoying the momentum that this is. I'm pissed off that Turtle Boy is locked up, for him to not be able to really enjoy the fruits of what his hard work and his sacrifices that he's made to get this information out there to the public. It definitely bothers me that he doesn't get to enjoy those fruits, and he's sitting in a jail cell. But in the grand scheme of things, and even Turtle Boy understands this, I believe that him being in jail right now in the grand scheme of things is going to be a hell of a thing, a hell of a tool to educate people on how fucked up this has been and how fucked up this is currently. So it's for the impact that it's going to have, it's necessary. But it's important that we don't squander anyone. We don't squander the sacrifices that were made by Turtle Boy, the Canton Nine. It's important we don't do that. And I don't believe any of you are. Bob Brown, thank you so much. Will, did you hear the Canton police found 10 more taillight pieces in the snowstorm we had here today? Thank you for that. No, I missed that one. So yeah, no, I don't believe that anybody here is actually doing that. And that's what's been so inspiring. So it's really, really awesome. And I think that the more hearings that take place, the more credibility that this information is going to have. And I think that the more that this stuff gets presented in court in Karen Reed's behalf, it's actually going to help Turtle Boy's case in the grand scheme of things, because there's no way he's going to, again, he can do whatever he wants. It's his life. But I don't see him, especially after he said so many times, I don't see him pleading guilty or taking a plea deal in this case, because it is absolutely a First Amendment thing. And we're going to talk more about his case, considering the fact that I have not forgotten Bradle's words to me. And it is important. It is just as important, in my opinion, to discuss Turtle Boy's case as it is to discuss Karen Reed's at this point. Because his hard work is proving to contribute to the closest thing John O'Keefe is going to have to getting justice. And he's in jail for it. And it's important that we talk about that. It's important that we keep people informed about that. Because, again, just like Karen Reed could be any of us, Turtle Boy could be any of us. Since when does informing the public of something that they have every right to know about equate a crime? So I don't. Yeah, I don't see how it's not. I don't see how I can't talk about it. You know what I mean? I just don't see how I can. So I'm going to continue to talk about that. And again, we're going to talk about the Sandra Birchmore case. That's coming up very soon, because I have a lot of questions about that. Now, I don't see that being brought up in trial too much. It might, but I feel like it should, because there's some familiar names in that case. Some familiar names that really, really bother me. So I'm going to be talking about that. That'll probably be the next one that I do, unless something else comes up. That'll be the next one that I do. Cherry and I have been talking behind the scenes. Cherry's been doing a lot of digging on that one. So we're going to be taking a deep dive into that, and I promise to be more of a deep dive than Bill Cannon style deep dive. So, yeah. But guys, I think I'm going to call it a night. I know it was a short one, but I'll give you guys a chance to enjoy the rest of your Sunday night. I appreciate all of you guys. I appreciate all your support. You guys are amazing. Again, if you guys want to donate to the Canton 9, if you have not so far, the link is in the description. I think Cherry has been dropping it throughout the evening in the chat. So, but the link to donate to the Canton 9 is in the description, and I would absolutely encourage all of you to do so, because they're going to need some defense. Because the fact is, just real quick, and there it is. I'm going to go ahead and pin it real quick just for the last few minutes of this stream, or a few moments anyway. If you don't know Canton 9, I mean, what you have to understand is they absolutely did technically break the law. The problem is, and that's also the case with Turtle Boy, the problem is that that law itself is unconstitutional. It's a direct violation of the First Amendment. So, at least as I understand the First Amendment to be, which I just Googled. So, to me, the law itself is absolutely a direct violation of the First Amendment. And since they actually did break the law, these folks, these good folks of Canton, are going to need representation to present this argument. So yeah, if any of you guys can spare to help them out, I'm sure they would very much appreciate that. But guys, thank you for joining me tonight. I had a great time. You guys are amazing. I love you all very much, and we will do this again very soon, my friends.